Oh, I guess we're live. Dang, that wasn't supposed.
If they do that, they're going to be very, 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 very tough to beat.
Wilson! Oh! And we are tied!
Let's go! Call the Bryce Beall.
And I don't ever let them forget where we come from.
Getting those phones out. Report me acting ignorant.
Dayon Kris got his way through, and he may go! Kris is in! Houston leads out of nowhere! Seventh heaven for Houston. The Cougars advance to their seventh Final Four. Go Coogs! Let's go! It's so good! The dream remains alive for the Houston Cougars!
Welcome in to. Oh, or not. Iron out kicks. There we go.
Yeah, we're good.
Auto switch, but we're still rolling with the punches. Welcome into another episode of Let's Rage Coogs, presented by the Saxenian Family. And you know what, Kris? I don't believe it. The Houston Cougars looked. Damn, you know what? They look dominant today. They look like a well-rounded football team. There were stretches in the game where they showed some areas of concern. The offensive line, oh my goodness, the injuries that should keep piling up. If you're playing offensive lineman for Houston, it's ridiculous that a little bit just in terms of how many injuries they've had and the movement they've had to do. But damn it, Houston had a game plan. They executed it well from the get-go. They built a lead. And even when Colorado made its run at the end of the first half, Houston came out and kept us poised. They made adjustments, and they just, held Colorado in check, and they cruise control a wire-to-wire 36-20 victory to improve to 3-0. The first time since 2016 that Houston is 3-0. The first time ever that they are 1-0 in conference play in the Big 12, obviously, only the third season in the Big 12. And this is the first time that Houston has scored 30 points at least or more in back-to-back games, going back to the 2022 season. A lot of good things with the Houston Cougars, and we're here to talk about it. Dayon Dunlap will be joining us shortly, and then hopefully Bryce is able to join us as well. But, Kris, before we get into game specifics, how are you doing on this Friday night?
I'm doing better now that the Cougs are 3-0. Like I said off air, I'm tired, man. Waking up at 4 o'clock in the morning. But yeah, the offense adjusting to the injury to the offensive line or the absence to the O-line. That third quarter was dominant. Third quarter, Coach Fritz football, 25 plays for the Cougs. That's 5 for Colorado. And outside of I don't want to say settling, but not getting more touchdowns, got 5 field goals instead of maybe 4 or 5 touchdowns instead of 3 touchdowns. It's a great win. It was methodical at some points. Like to see. I love the third quarter play calling in the third quarter. The sweep options was great. Connor Wegman, that juke on his touchdown.
Oh my goodness.
Dean Connors with some good action as well. Looked like a potential running back option pass. He decided not to pass and run it. A lot of good things, but then there were some points we thought that the offense was too conservative. The play calling was too conservative.
Yeah.
And then other times, Stephon Johnson got open deep, had that threat, worked. Amari Thomas came through, went forward on fourth down in the third quarter. Dean Connors with a great pickup on protection that led to that. Wegman to Amari Thomas. A lot of good things helped the Cougs improve to 3-0.
Yes, sir. And looking at the final stats, Connor Wegman finishes 15-24 on his passes, 222 passing yards. That's a season high for him here with Houston. He really hurt Colorado in the ground, and a lot of design runs for Houston. They were effective. They knew what their game plan was coming in, and like I said, kudos to them because they, for the most part, throughout the game, they did a really good job of executing that game plan. Connor Wegman finishes with 83 rushing yards, 2 touchdowns. You mentioned Dean Connors. He had 89 rushing yards and 22 attempts, 1 touchdown. And really kept his poise on that play, which ultimately got overturned. They took away one of his touchdowns, but for him to not panic in that situation, and it looked like he had scored a touchdown first, and Houston ended up scoring it on the QB sneak the next play down. Stephon Johnson. This is the Stephon Johnson that we expected to see from the beginning of the season. 5 catches, 117 yards. Tanner Cozio continues to be just solid. 4 catches, 33 yards. And Amari Thomas is the big play getter for Houston. When they needed a big play so far early in the season, you can tell that him and Connor have a good, solid connection, a good chemistry between the two. And like I said, really how the offensive line did pretty solid despite all the movement that they've had to endure. And even in this game, the additional injuries that they faced, the defense, we'll talk about it. I can't wait until Dayon hops on because the end of the first half was pretty interesting because the defense shut out Colorado for most of it. And then you had the pass interference penalty that extends the drive and gives Colorado life. They go on where they would have ended up punting and go down the field, score the first touchdown of the game. Following drive was the most awkward, weird sequence that I have seen because Connor Wegman got hit in the face mask. Like that clearly affected his throw, and the referees decided to offset the penalties with intentional grounding, but when you're getting smacked in the face mask, that's probably going to make you be completely off target with your throw. But neither here or there. And Colorado was able to score another touchdown towards the end, heading into halftime. And give credit to Houston one. They kept their poise. They clearly made some adjustments compared to the success that Colorado had made in the first half, especially when it came to just extending plays. It seemed like the Buffs were having a lot of success whenever they were able to extend plays. And Houston it was a complimentary football, total team effort. Offense, dang, they ran, correct me if I'm wrong, I believe they ran 26 plays in that third quarter compared to Colorado, who only ran 5. Like,
Right.
that was a complete, total domination of time of possession. Obviously, if Colorado doesn't have the ball, they can't hurt you. And give credit again, total team effort. And we haven't even talked about it, but we got to mention special teams because this Ethan Sanchez, 6 field goals. That's phenomenal. Like that's an underrated move that Houston made in the offseason. Like he's been a rock for Houston the first 3 weeks, and he really showed out in this game as well. Give kudos to him.
Made a 52-yarder. You see, 52-yarder, 43, 47, 35, 50. He missed, and it probably wouldn't count anyway because there was a holding penalty on Houston that was declined after the miss, and then a 49-yarder. So he had it going as well. Coogs had, I think, 5 different receivers were targeted. Connor Wegman, so he spread the ball around. A lot of good things. I will say this, and I'll get our fans to comment on this as well. I think this is the second consecutive game where the staff made good adjustments at halftime.
Mm-hmm.
Colorado had momentum going into the locker room at halftime. That opening drive of the third quarter, the Cougs, they went for it twice, mixed up the play calls. They kept the ball, and really, they kept the ball, scored, and then Colorado got it 3 and out. That 3 and out by the defense was key as well because then the offense got it back and then had the ball in the third quarter for 12 minutes, 12, 13 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
Excellent drive. I guess one of the negatives was after the interception, they got so conservative. Cougs got so conservative with it and gave it right back. And come on, they could have dropped the hammer right there, but they didn't. Still got the win. Cougs are 3-0, and I'm not sure how many of us on this Let's Rage Cougs edition would have said before the season would have thought the Cougs would be 3-0. I think folks kind of circled this game as a possible loss, but 3-0. The bye week comes at a really good time because a lot of Cougs are banged up or missed the game, and hopefully the week off will help them heal and be ready to go to Corvallis and improve to 4-0.
And real quickly, just a quick correction. Sanchez went 5 of 6, so he kicked 6 field goals, missed one of them, like you alluded to, came when after the interception, Houston kind of got real conservative and didn't really attack, like maybe a little bit too conservative for call, but at that point again, everything else had gone well in the second half, but still an impressive showing and performance by Sanchez. And just again looking at the stats, I'm trying to find the actual time of possession number. Let me see here. 36 minutes. Houston won a time of possession 36 minutes compared to Colorado's 23. Total yards, Houston held them to just 300 yards. A lot of those came towards the end in that fourth quarter. Like, it was really lopsided. As for Houston, 431 total yards of offense. Just, again, phenomenal performance from Houston top to bottom overall. Now, still a few areas they can clean up on and build on. But like you said, like, this is pretty good. That's what you want from your team. And let's see if we can add Dayon. Let's see here. Shoot, I might have to do it sorry, Chris, I might have to do it this way. We still gotta iron out some kinks, but
That's all right. We'll have a tutorial. I'll show you what to do.
Dayon, can you hear us?
Yeah, I can hear you guys.
How are you doing on this Friday night, sir?
Man, I'm doing pretty good. Excited about the win. Excited about the crowd who showed up. Really, more or less excited about the complete game. We look like a complete football team tonight. I was able to run the ball, pass the ball. Defense showed up and was stout against the run and the pass for the most part. And so I was really excited about how we looked and how we progressed from game 1 to game 2 to game 3, and how we're 1-0 in Big 12.
Brother Dayon, would you agree that this staff seems to make good adjustments at halftime?
Oh yeah, no question, no question. I think they I think they do. I think they noticed how we kind of talked about in our group chat how after that first and the second quarter, I kind of believe they kind of wasn't as aggressive, and they came out immediately as aggressive, looking to get up again. I think it was back 2 scores, and so I definitely think they do. I think they scout themselves and make adjustments not only for what the team is doing to them. So no question, I think the coaching staff definitely makes adjustments, even defensively. I mean, they seen the blitz was working, stayed with it, and so I think this coaching staff definitely makes more adjustments versus the previous regime.
And this is
Offensive.
this is for both of y'all, because I thought about it, and let me know if y'all what you think. Dayon, you said this, and it's true. When it comes to hoops, Coach Sampson lets the game dictate how he wants to coach. I think Coach Fritz kind of does the same thing. What works, what doesn't work. If he's going to stick with it, if things don't work, he'll make changes based on how things are going in the game.
Yeah, I think so. I think more or less, kind of like to that point, he's more of a strategist versus coming in with in a sense of like, well, I don't want to say that because I definitely think they come in with like, hey, we're gonna try to establish this and do this based on what they see on film. But to your point, I definitely agree. I think he more or less adjusts his scheme and his strategy to who they're playing game by game versus having a system and we're just gonna run our system game in and game out. So I definitely agree, which I definitely see what you're saying. I definitely agree.
Oh, this I see Justin's question here about who is this young guy. They kept talking about Keyshawn Henderson, man. Keyshawn Henderson. That's the young
You
guy.
did.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. What, 5-star, one of the top-rated players, not just in the state, but in the country. Oh, yeah, he's the real deal. Now, his level of competition that he's facing is not top tier, but the talent and his skill set is top tier.
Yeah, no question. No
And he
question.
and he is a Coug, and he picked the Cougs, committed to the Cougs. What? It's been a while. I mean, and he hasn't changed. He shut it down
Yeah.
a while ago. Said, "Yep,
He's
nope."
committed to the Houston for a long time, and
And I think games like this would only add to the recruiting. I know there's some other big recruits there they're trying to get. I know one of them was one of the top running backs, not only in the city and the state, but also in the country, who could potentially come team up with him next year. So I mean, just showing like this and showing progression, I think that's what's most important to show when you're recruiting for the team, for the confidence. I think it's really bodes well, and just watching this game. Although Colorado, I could tell they're they're not as good as they're really just not a good football team. Honestly, they
mhm.
don't
They're
they
not.
have
Yeah,
they're not. Coach Prime needs a lot of talent, and then he needs a lot of talent that they really just don't have. But just for us, we dominated them. I mean, it was BTA.
yeah, it was. I mean, it really was. And the field goal distances that Ethan kicked, like I said, 49, 50, 52. It's a weapon. He's a weapon. It's
Mhm.
like Coach Frisk tonight, let's say, we got across the 35-yard line. We're in rain. Let's go. If nothing else, we got 3 points. Sometimes I don't like that that mentality, but it worked tonight. And it could have been as simple as Coach Fritz believed into the team, we are better than they are. Let's get some points, and then our defense will stop them. Simple.
Yeah, yeah. I think that's it right there. Let's get some points on the board. Our defense is going to stop them and get us the ball back. Yeah, I think
And
that's
that's
and I think sorry, Andy, but I
go
think
ahead.
that builds confidence in the kicker and the
Yeah.
special teams as a team going forward because you never know game winning kick or just how important a kick or kickers can be in any given moment. So building that confidence in games like this, I think is important.
And it's just such a good luxury to have that Houston hasn't had uh, in years past, in seasons past, and it's just a night and day difference. When, like you said, Chris, the moment they get inside the 35-yard line, you feel confident that they're in a good spot to at least get 3 points, and with this defense, you feel solid if they can put points up on the board. The defense is going to put them in a good spot, and you don't really have to worry about the opposing team driving down the field. And down to your point about Colorado, agree to absolutely 100%. That's a team that has a lot to figure out talent wise, and they just didn't have the horses tonight. And Houston did what they were supposed to against an inferior team. They looked good, and they didn't play with their food, and they shut the door closed at the third quarter, and they never looked back, which is again not something that Houston teams have done over the course of the last few seasons. So, a step heading in the right direction. They get the bye week, and now they prepare for Oregon State. We as from the outside perspective can kind of look ahead, but they have a really good opportunity after the bye week if they can take care of business against Oregon State, and they could, not to get too far ahead, but they have a really, really big opportunity with Texas Tech on the horizon. I want to bring up Crabtree's point. Wegman has looked great in his first 3 games for the Cougs. He has thrown 4 touchdown passes without an interception. He's rushed for uh, he rushed for 2 today. I want to say that he's rushed 3 total all season, but maybe I'll double check that in a bit. But Wegman's been solid. He's made some impressive throws in all 3 of the games for Houston this season. And today I feel like his full skill set was on display. Like today, he showcased multiple times throughout the night why he was so highly recruited and sought after coming out of high school. And like there were stretches there where he showcased that 5-star talent. And again, going back to the luxury about the kicker, that's such a luxury to have when you have the best player on the field at times, and that's what Connor looked like tonight multiple times when Houston was out there on the field against Colorado.
I want to say this real quick, and I thought this was going to be the case. Bryce's high school team, they just finished playing their game. So Coogs playing on Friday night impacted Bryce, his team, and Les Ray's Coogs. So I'm not sure if he'll be able to join us, but Connor Wegman with his legs, his arm, he's done a great job of showcasing his skill set, and it was good to see he and Boogie Johnson connect on the deep ball again.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't know that they were teammates in flag football when they were 14 years old. So that's a connection there as well. But I think all of us are seeing the impact of good coaching. The Cougs aren't to the point where they are clearly head and shoulders of talent wise better than everybody, but yet I
Heading
think
in
that's
that
coming.
direction. Yeah.
But you're seeing Coach Fritz and the staff beginning to maximize what his guys do well and coach them up.
And you see the benefits of having good quarterback play. Like E.A. Crabtree said, solidified quarterback. I think that's can't be understated. I mean, I do definitely agree they're coaching them up, but when you got a quarterback that can throw and really just be a competent quarterback that not only one dimensional, not only can he run, but also can make passes. Some of the accuracy and touch passes that he made tonight was very impressive. The pocket wasn't clean, but he still maybe made it by a little time and made some very, very accurate throws. And like Andy said, he showed why he was a highly talented recruit coming out of high school. So I think the more important is just offensively. I mean, running game isn't going, you got a quarterback that's showing. Now the offensive coordinators also open it up a little more as well. And receivers are getting open. I mean, it's a difference when you got a quarterback that can actually spin it and run it. Because now you have to respect his read option. You got to
Mm-hmm.
respect that he can pull it down and run it if you just play man-to-man coverage. And so he definitely is looking really, really good. Yeah, I think this was his best game by far. But I
Mm-hmm.
think we only 3 games in, and he's getting better and better.
Agreed. And he showed tonight that he can make something positive out of a broken play.
Yeah.
And that is sometimes you just need a quarterback like that.
Yeah.
If the O line has problems, a breakdown, and running backs miss a block or whatever, the QB, don't worry, fellas, I'm gonna make something happen positive for us. And he did that, and that's a key to being a really successful team, and that's a plus for this team this year. Looks like
And
And he
his
should.
accuracy.
for sure.
Mhm.
Accuracy. I think that, I mean, receivers now, that make you run your routes even harder and play even harder versus if you have a quarterback that if the first read isn't there, most likely you're not going to get the ball. He can extend the play. Now the play's still going down. Let me get open, scramble drill. So, man, with Connor, I just definitely think from last year, just look at Arizona State, good quarterback play with a good running back like they had, solid defense. They was able to win the Big 12, and I think Houston can stack games up and potentially have that ceiling if they continue to put it together.
I
When
guess
when
my biggest worry is the injuries starting to pile up, and if they have enough depth
Mhm.
everywhere to overcome them, going forward. Because now the grind of the Big 12, it's still got 8 more games to go in the Big 12. This team's going bowling. We know that. I think we all agree on that.
Mhm.
Got 3 wins
Yep.
now.
Yep.
3 more minimum. They're gonna get that. Just a
Yeah.
question of how many more wins they're gonna get this season. And I think
Agreed.
injuries could play a part in that.
One last thing I want to mention about Connor Wegman, and like you said, his big playability, and really showcased how he's able to make something out of nothing a lot of times. I feel like this play might be underrated, but I believe it was during their first drive in the second half, where it looked like he was about to get sacked, like he was dead to right, and he did a little he made an elusive move, made the defender completely miss him, and then last second, with his body contorting, finds Dean Connors what would have been a sack for a gain of 6, which on the box score won't be eye popping, but just like that, avoiding negative plays and turning something out of nothing is something that Houston has not had for at least going back to the 22 season. So, and maybe even farther than that. I mean, I haven't seen that here in Houston in a really, really long time.
Agreed. And he a couple of times the Colorado, I think one play had a free man on a blitz, and Connor just made the guy miss. He rolled out. I mean, the guy was he was not blocked. He wasn't touched, but Connor still scrambled to do something out of it. Things like that. It's just a broken play. He kept the possession alive. It's it's a it's a plus to have a player like this, and a quarterback like this who can keep plays alive, keep things going.
Yeah, absolutely.
Should Dayon have pulled the quarterback? I mean, Dion's not sold on his freshman quarterback just yet, so I don't know. That's for him to say. I'm curious to hear his thoughts, what he said in the postgame.
And Willie Fritz, this is a quote from Joseph Duarte of the Houston Chronicle. He posted on X a while ago. Willie Fritz, big win for our program, and I agree 100%. Like this at the end of the day, it's the first the first time that Houston has opened Big 12 conference play with a win in the 3 seasons that they've been in the conference. But I think for the most part, it's just it's really a game that shows that they're heading in the right direction, and all the work that they're putting in it's paying off. And obviously, we have no idea what the rest of the season is going to look like, but we had talked about it in the offseason the momentum that they're kind of building in recruiting. Right, the class of 2026 is supposed to be one of the best ones that they've had in a really, really, really long time, and now you're starting to see the on the field product kind of match that. And again, not to look too far ahead, but if they can take care of business against Oregon State, I cannot wait for that game against Texas Tech, because then they'll really get a chance to make a lot of noise. But they got to take care of business first. And it's good that they get rest, because like we've talked about, this is a team that could really use it, especially the offensive line. And even with players like Jamarion Burnett, like we've seen Dean Connors, like we owe Dean Connors an apology after the
Yeah.
first game. He
For
he has
sure.
looked real good the past two games for Houston. And if we can get Burnett back and have a three-headed monster with Stacey Sneed, who made a few good plays when he was in there tonight against Colorado, and then Burnett, who looked real good week 1 against Stephen F. Austin, and now you're starting you really build on that excitement, because this is a team that can very well make a lot of noise. And like Dayon said, why not? Why can't the 2025 Houston Cougars be the 2024 Arizona State of the Big 12? So we shall see. But first, they got to get healthy, and first they got to focus on Oregon State. But there's a lot of excitement, and it's something that we haven't really seen with the Houston football program in a while. And to add on, just to your point, Kris, you mentioned this during the game, but the official attendance, try and find the number, but it is 37,899, which was according to Joseph Duarte, it was 9,241 students. Like that's good. That's big time. And they put a good performance, a solid, strong performance in front of that crowd. And guess what? If this was a lot of people's first time at U of H, or maybe the first time in a while for a football game, come on back, because the next home game is a pretty big one against Texas Tech. And that's what it's all about when it comes to program building, stacking up that positive momentum, and kind of having an avalanche effect, right? Once the ball gets rolling, it's really hard to stop. And we're starting to see that positive momentum with the football team.
And we've all said it. I think UH administrators do watch Let's Rage Coogs because we said last show we hope that UH allowed more students to attend tonight's game. 9,000 students showed up, so I think they opened it up, allowed more students to be whatever it is eligible or able to attend the game. That's a plus. Open it up more. Game against Texas Tech, allow more students in the game. That shouldn't be a problem though for fans. But man, if the Cougs win at Oregon State 4-0, head against a home game against Texas Tech, the stadium should be packed.
Yeah, it should be a sellout.
You know, riding the momentum of undefeated team, an old rival, all those things. I mean, I'm looking forward to that, but got to take it one game at a time, enjoy the bye week, all that kind of stuff as well. Take care of business against Oregon State, and Oregon State is not playing well, has not played well so far yet, this season. That's a winnable game for the Cougs.
They got to do what they did tonight. They got to do what they did tonight. Be on a mission from the beginning and just, be in control. Be in control of the game from the get-go. Let's hear what Willie Fritz had to say. The benefit of technology, even though we're not at the stadium. We won't play the full clip, but this is courtesy of UH Athletics. We'll get a snippet that they've posted on their YouTube. Let's see what head coach Willie Fritz had to say following the big win against Colorado.
Kind of answer the bell. Offensively, we needed something going on. Defensively, at times we needed to make a big play. I thought Ethan Sanchez, did an excellent job kicking. What was he, 4 or 5 today? 5 of 6. Did a great job. A lot of those were long ones. That's the reason why we got him. He's 10 of 11 at his last school, and one miss was, I think, 50-something odd yards. He made 3 or 4 50-plus as well. So, we didn't play great. There's some things we can really improve on, but, for our big, 12 opener, playing a good squad like Colorado, we're very happy with the outcome.
Willie, can you tell me a little bit about just the confidence that Connor Wegman is playing with right now? And
Yeah, I thought he played his best game today. He ran the ball extremely well. I think sometimes he's underestimated with his ability to run. That was a heck of a run for the touchdown where he faked the guy out. He had one early in the game for about 20, 30 yards, maybe a little further than that. When the quarterback can run, you're playing 11-on-11 football. Handing it off, you're playing 10-on-11. And he certainly adds that run element.
They got within a couple of points before halftime, and then you guys basically play keep away in the third quarter. What was it like having the offense go out there and control the clock the way they did there in the third quarter?
How many minutes did we have?
Almost 13 minutes.
What was it?
Almost 13.
Yeah. Did a great job. We knew we were coming out with the football to begin the second half, and just a super job of converting fourth downs, converting third downs, and you play great defense when your offense is out there on the field. So really nice job extending drives.
Willie, did you see anything game planning wise that you thought those quarterback runs could be even more effective?
We didn't do a whole lot of it in the first 2 weeks. The first game of the year, Georgia Tech their quarterback ran the ball a bunch, and we did some of that, a little bit of that. But, by and large, you'd like to do that 5 or 6 times a game. So they either need to pack the box, and now you can open it up to throw it, or they don't pack the box, and now you got a really big run play with the quarterback. So we're always going to run the quarterback some.
Willie, I guess on the bad side, the offensive line, what you're going through with David getting hurt, McKenzie, Dalton. I mean, can you kind of just take us through where you stand on that right now, and maybe the bye week coming at a good time?
Yeah, that's true. I was talking about that with a couple of coaches here coming up, but I think it is coming at a good time. We got some guys banged up. It always seems to happen at the position you don't want it to happen at. And hopefully David's going to be okay. I haven't heard a final result with anything. I know they did transport him to the hospital. Dalton, I think, will be back this next week. Jason Brooks played some this week, but he was out all week. So we need to get some guys healthy because that's definitely an area of concern for us.
Coach, what did you see out of the defensive line with Carlos Allen and Eddie Walls?
What?
What did you see out of the defensive line?
I saw some good things with him. The one thing you got to do, that quarterback, has superior movement. You got to keep him in the pocket, and you got to do a good job with your pass rush lanes. And too often we did not do a great job with our pass rush lanes against him, and he got out of the pocket and created some big plays. So it's something we need to work on, and we probably need to roll a few more guys. There's a couple times they had some long drives and looked like the guys got a little tired, but both those two guys, they came up with some big plays when we needed them.
Will you elaborate on Ethan's performance in the kicking game tonight, and how does that kind of tweak your offensive strategy to say for a kicker that can kick that accurately long range?
Yeah, it was a go on 4th and 1. That one time we didn't get it, and hindsight's 20/20. I think it was a go for it at 4th and 2. We didn't get it. It just didn't do a very good job with our execution. But yeah, it's when you get, we kind of call it the magic 29-yard line. When we get on the 29-yard line, we don't lose any yards. We're almost banking on 3 points, and that's big for you. He does a nice job.
You're muted, Andy.
So once again, that was Houston Cougars head coach Willie Fritz. Touched on a lot of different things there. As we go back to two-man for a second, the biggest the offensive lineman, David Duke, who obviously went down early in the game, mentioned that he was transported to a hospital. So obviously, we hope the best for him and for a speedy recovery, whatever injury he's dealing with. I found it interesting, that comment he said about Ethan Sanchez there. The magic yard line, for the 29-yard line. And once they get inside the 29 or essentially inside the 30, they're pretty confident and automatic. And I would argue, I think that they're even a little more confident. I would say even 30, 31, 32. He made a 52-yard field goal today as well. So again, that's just a great luxury to have when you have a reliable kicker like that, especially with parity with this defense, who showed out. Really, really good things for Houston. Kris, anything stand out to you from Willie Fritz, again, courtesy of UH Athletics, that post-game presser today?
Not yet about what we heard from Coach Fritz. I wanted to talk about, again, the quarterback sneak, the utilization of the QB sneak more tonight.
Multiple times tonight.
And it worked for the most part tonight. That's a plus. I mean, who'd have thought, what a novel concept to not be in a shotgun on 4th and 1 or 3rd and 1. Whoa, shocking.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I think they've converted. Not probably end up jinxing it, but every time that they use QB sneak in there, like 3rd and 1, 4th and 1, I have yet to see them fail a conversion. So, sometimes the right play is into line up a shotgun. Hunter on YouTube makes a great point about receiver Amari Thomas. He's just been a big playmaker for Houston again. First 3 weeks in, like alluded to earlier in the show, like the connection, the chemistry that he has with Conor Wegman off the get-go, it's pretty obvious. Going back to week 1, the dart that Conor connected with him against Stephen F. Austin, he's huge. And you add Tanner Koziol on top of that too. I think now we're finally there's weapons, and we're starting to see not only things open up for Stephon Johnson, which pretty, again, going back to the coaching staff and Slade Nagel, the game plan that they had, I absolutely loved it because they were getting their playmakers involved early and often and quick, especially like the first quarter. And like the ball was coming out of Connor Wegman's hands fast, decisive, and Colorado just was scrambling. They were reacting instead of being ahead and kind of dictating the game, which is what, again, we haven't seen that from the Houston Cougars offense for out of the gates. And I would say probably going back to the 2023 season. It's been a while since we've seen the Houston offense look like that and be in control of a game from the opening quarter, essentially. So, and Amari Thomas is definitely a big part of that.
Agreed. And the staff is utilizing the weapons, spread the ball around to Amari, Stephon Johnson, Tanner Koziol. It was great to see Dean Connors, different guys touch it, different guys had big plays. What was it? How many big plays did the Cougs end up with? The stats is a little different. They count a big play of rushing big play as a gain of 10 yards. The Cougs had 5 of those big plays, 5 rushes for 104 yards. And then passing big plays, a gain of 15 plus yards. They had 7. So total of 12 big plays in tonight's win over Colorado. Going out, not a very long limb. It's been a long time since that happened.
Yeah.
And what was it? What was the stat, I think, during the game, during the broadcast? The first time the Cougs in 22 games went over 400 yards total offense.
Yeah.
My goodness. I mean, so
I think it might have been Joseph Duarte that tweeted it, like that was the longest active streak in all of FBS.
How embarrassing is that? I mean, just from a Cougar perspective, the offensive school that was known for the run and shoot, the veer offense, just big plays, explosive plays, and to go that long, have the longest active streak of not gaining 400 total yards of offense in a game. Well, that's dead. So moving forward, it won't be another 22 games, whatever it is, before that happens again.
Nope. Which again, but going back to the advanced offensive stats, just looking at the passing numbers, like you mentioned, the big plays, Kris. Deep passing, which here they count any pass that was 15 yards and up. Houston went 3 for 5. Medium passes 5 for 14. Those passes that were between 5 to 14 yards, 6 for 9, and just rushing success rate. I'm curious to see what this has looked like in the past for Houston, but Houston had a 41% rushing success rate compared to Colorado's 15%, and the efficiency that Houston had on first down total yards for Houston, 202 yards, and this is really interesting. 4 first down touchdowns. Like Houston, again, they didn't get themselves in any holes. Really much of this game, and this is just when Willie Fritz preaches, right? Cougs don't beat the Cougs. Like this is going to be the type of game that he goes back and plays for new players joining the program for years to come. Only 2 penalties, 4 penalties in total against Houston for just 35 yards. Like that you can't ask better from Houston, their perspective. They played a clean game, and then again with a lot of moving pieces that the Cougars had to deal with injuries. Like this is a Willie Fritz Cougs don't beat the Cougs. Like this is what they're going to showcase for the next few weeks and maybe even seasons to come. Whenever they talk about what they want UH football to be under Willie Fritz.
Yeah, that last point, I agree completely with you. This could be a building block, a foundational piece, a foundational win for Coach Fritz in this program to, going forward, 2 years from now, remember that win we had over Colorado that Friday night. that started this process, that opened the eyes of some recruits that said, "Hey, I saw the game on TV." That opened the eyes of some coaches or some whoever or some potential transfers. Said, "I saw y'all play Colorado, and I love the offense and what y'all did. I want to be part of that program. I want to come win, help y'all win, and compete for championships." This could be one of those foundational wins, because if folks may not know, according to the Chronicle, the Houston Chronicle's top 50 high school players in the greater Houston area in the class of 2026, the Cougs have commitments from 4 of the top 10 in the area. 4 of the top 10 are staying local.
Building that fence.
So this could be what many of us older alums, even younger alums like Andy, have said could happen with the right people in charge. You build a fence around the city. You keep a lot of, it's not going to be likely to keep all of them, but keep a lot of the top talented players in the Houston area and keep them in Houston to play for the Cougs. You come to the games, you support the team, you buy your tickets, you make the stadium rocking, you making it a winning atmosphere, and you build on it, keep building on it, and you win championships, and you become that program that outsiders were afraid of could happen if the right person was in charge and you had the right talent. This could be the start of that right now.
And it just connects with everything. I mean, the high praise that Houston head coach Kelvin Sampson had for Willie Fritz just yesterday, Thursday. He got on a call with reporters and he said he's been through 5 different coaches, or he's seen 5 different coaches at the University of Houston in his time, and he said he hasn't seen anyone like Willie Fritz. And the reason for that is because he really shouted out Willie Fritz's ability to build a culture. And he emphasized, highlighted how crucial and how important that is. And barely, really, this is the first full season under Fritz. Obviously, last year was his first year, but, he joined late in the game when he was hired with Houston. You're already starting to see that to fruition. And again, not to sound like a broken record, but it's that momentum. It's like that, like that snowball rolling down a mountain and picking up steam, and eventually it becomes an avalanche. And now hopefully they can continue, get rest up, and then Oregon State, they come out and they show more of this dominant football team that they did tonight against Colorado. Hopefully it's not a one-off and they keep carrying that for the rest of their season. One more clip I want to show, and it's just a snippet of Connor Wegman and what he had to say post-game. But before we play that, first and foremost, let's thank everybody that has taken the time out of their Friday night to join us here on this edition of Let's Rage Coogs. We have a strong number, both if you're watching us on YouTube or on our X platform. Big thank you. This is your first time ever encountering Let's Rage Coogs. We do this after each and every single football and men's basketball game. Obviously men's basketball released their full schedule earlier this week. So we do this after every single football and men's basketball game. So we'll be back at the end of September when Houston and Oregon State play 2 weeks from today. A big thank you to today's primary sponsor of Let's Rage Coogs and Steve Saxenian. This is Let's Rage Coogs presented by the Saxenian Family. And also a big thank you to today's secondary sponsor, In-Star Pizza. Shout out to Mike and Jennifer Pittman, who had a blast at their game. They were live in attendance, and they got to see Houston get the win over Colorado. But obviously Star Pizza, with multiple locations throughout the Houston area, Star Pizza is your go-to stop before and after the game. And I want to say this live to kind of hold myself accountable, but I got to stop by one of their locations, because whenever they did the Fan Fest before the season started, Mike and Jennifer asked, they had me sign one of the things. I said they were gonna put it up in the restaurant, so I gotta go see where they hung it up. So plus I gotta stop by for some delicious pizza soon. With that being said, let's hear what Connor Wegman had to say following Houston's 36-20 victory over Colorado.
I guess how good do you feel about how you're playing right now?
I mean, it feels good. I mean, just the trust I have in my teammates and my coaches. I mean, I love to come here and come to work every day and put it all on the line for my brothers, and I felt like we all did that for each other. And when you do that as a team, good things happen.
I know you talked about getting off to fast starts. What was it like to get those early scores in the first quarter?
I mean, it was good. I mean, we were clicking on all cylinders, coach, O-line, running backs, receivers. I mean, that's how it needs to be every week.
Connor, do you guys see something in their defense that you thought those QB runs, could be really effective, and what would you sort of see there?
I mean, maybe the coaches. I was just running what they called, and I was playing my tail off, and I go out there and do that every time. I tell my O-line, my receivers before every game, I'm going to put it all on the line for them and give them everything I got. And so, in return, I feel like they do that for me, and that's what good teams do, go out there and play hard for each other.
Connor, last week against Rice, you threw a big one to Stephon Johnson for a touchdown. This week, you threw a big one for him for a touchdown. They were both in the fourth quarter. Is that just kind of the trend moving forward?
I mean, yeah, for sure. I mean, we'd like to do that a lot. We'd like to throw it and get big yards on every play. But, I mean, like I said, we're going to stick and trust to our game plan, and whatever coach calls, we're going to go out there and try and execute.
Go over there on the spring side.
Am I good to go? Or?
Yeah.
Okay. Connor, how does it feel just to be undefeated, starting off good? Obviously, coming from your situation last year, I mean, it's got to be put in perspective and stuff.
I mean, it feels great. I mean, like we just said in the locker room, it's one game at a time. We're still early in the season. Let's get our bodies right over this bye week, and let's come back ready to go. And we got a good game going out to Oregon and Oregon State and Corvallis, and it's going to be a fun game.
Connor, you ran 4 QB sneaks tonight, hit all of them. What's your mentality in going into that play?
I mean, you got to go get it. You got to stick your nose in there and got to go get a yard, whatever it takes.
Back over to me.
You guys have some time to rest before the next game?
Yes, sir.
After just staying home, how good does it be to stay home, get some rest, and fly out pretty far?
I mean, it feels awesome. We were all talking. I don't think we're going to move all day tomorrow. I'm just going to sit back on the couch and just watch football all day. So it's going to be good.
Connor, you had to have some guys step up on the offensive line. Any, I guess, concern just in numbers right now? Maybe not so much in performance, but just not having some guys and how this week off will help you guys?
I mean, for sure. But, I mean, that's just what makes this game great, the game of football. I mean, you got to have 11 guys out there, and it's a physical, brutal sport, and people are going to go down, and you need guys to step up. And for us to be able to have those guys like that, I mean, it was huge. I mean, just for them to go in there and bust their tail, I mean, they gave it all they had, and it was an honor to go to battle with those guys.
Connor, do you feel a little rejuvenated, and how good has this place been to you?
I wouldn't say rejuvenated. Like I promise, I never flinched. Adversity, I mean, I stared it in his eyes, and I went to work every single day all summer. And I'm just happy to be here, man. Be home, be around my family, be around my friends, and just have these great group of guys in the locker room. I mean, it's been a blessing ever since I've gotten here.
Once again, that was Houston Cougars quarterback Connor Wegman. His post-game comments, some of his post-game comments after the 36-20 victory over Colorado. Kris, they asked that question about the QB sneak, and then his answer, just hearing him talk, there's only one word that popped into my mind, and that's blue collar. Yep. What say you?
It worked. It was 4 for 4 on the QB sneak tonight. I mean, we love it. We've been begging for it for a while now here on Let's Rage Coogs, and I like how they're running it. I like how he's executing on that play, and it's been effective. It's another wrinkle. It's like an obvious wrinkle that offenses should have. Bryce Beall has said it before, numerous Let's Rage Coug shows, how he never understood why you would be in shotgun on 3rd and 1 or 4th and 1. Mm-hmm. But QB sneaks worked. So salute to everybody who's watching Let's Rage Cougs. The staff listens to us as well as you guys.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we've hit on all the main points. There's one video I want to show. This is posted from the official X account. Um, let me pull it up real quick. They are very very excited and Kris, let me see here. Let's add this here. I know we can embed it, but we're gonna go the old route for this. And check out how Houston celebrated, courtesy of UH Cougar Football on Twitter. The Willie Fritz the Willie Fritz crowd surfing is something I can get behind. They did it last week when they beat Rice and they won the Bayou Bucket, and this time they did it at low key. They're flexing their locker room, by the way, I might add.
Oh, yeah, indeed, yes.
They did it tonight after beating Colorado. You love to see it again. The full just embrace of not only Woody Fritz but the buy-in from the players, and they're excited again to see the reward, to see them from the times that I was able to go during fall camp, but the hard work that they had to put in since August pay off. You like to see that for a lot of these players, and for them to reward the coach with a crowd surf moment in back-to-back weeks. So you always love to see the team celebrating like that.
Yeah, I see Justin's comment. I think it was dark in there. I mean, they do have lights in there.
Yes.
We have seen it lit in there. We've been forced enough to be a part of the media tour on there, but the facility's awesome. It's a great win, and I choose to believe this is the start of something big. Something big is brewing here for Houston Cougar football. We are part of it, and hopefully this will be another golden era for Houston Cougar football that is upon us. And once again, I keep saying this, and I think others who are watching us on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube, the importance of having the right person in charge.
Mm-hmm.
It just makes a world of difference when you have the right head coach in charge. You see the culture, the winning culture established, the accountability that is being preached, expected, and if you don't live up to it, you will be held accountable to that. This culture, Coach Fritz's culture, you've seen it, his previous stops. His first year at every job didn't have a lot of wins, but that second year and following years, he won and won big. This is what Coach Fritz does. And we can always, if folks, I don't know if people, we're not, that old, but remember this. At Coach Fritz's press conference, and quite often last season, his first year going around, meeting media, going to the men's basketball games, talking to fans, talking to alums, talking to the money people, he said that he wanted his football program, his football players to play as tough, as hard-nosed, as physical as the Houston Cougars men's basketball team. So when Coach Sampson heaped so much praise on Coach Fritz heaped that same praise on Coach Sampson. These two most important programs in Division I athletics for Houston athletics have the right person in charge, and I think Houston Cougar football, bright days and bright future is coming for this program.
Agreed 100%. And Justin Singleton agrees too. Yeah, Crabtree's comment. This whole team is a blue-collar team, not real flashy, but it gets it done on defense with solid offense and special teams. Justin Singleton again. Yeah, the locker room's real nice, and they even upgraded the media where they do the post game press conference with Willie Fritz. Now it is a walk to get there, but oh my goodness, it is a huge upgrade for media. We reporters are essentially sitting on movie theater
Well,
seats.
Andy, this real talk. You know this initially, and I'm saying this because I'm a proud alum. Okay, so if you're new to the show, new to Let's Rage Coogs, don't think that I'm just being petty or YG blah blah blah. I love this school, but initially, when Fertitta Center was designed, a media room was not designed, it was not part of the plans, the drawings were not in there. For the football ops building, they had thought in for this one, okay, where can we have media for post games? So they thought about it. They had a plan in place. They had drawings done for it. So that's why it's such a difference. I remember walking into it, I was like, oh, this feels so much better than that first time I went over on the tour for Fertitta. Because the reaction, oh yeah, we didn't do that, did we? So, but live and learn going forward. Football ops building is a great facility. It's another example of Coach Sampson, what he started, the administration helping spearhead the money, the fundraising, all the money behind it. The administration helps win championships. Coaches build programs, establish the culture, but the administrations help lay that groundwork to win, to compete and win championships.
Yeah, Justin Singleton, you're absolutely right. Especially with football and the post game pressers.
Some schools locally, Justin. Some schools locally as well.
Yeah, there's a big difference. Well, not to throw Rice under the bus, but my gosh, we were in a sauna whenever we did the post game press conferences with Willie Fritz and the players after the game. Like it was a closet essentially. That yeah, that was certainly an experience. It made the 80-degree humidity outside in Houston feel nice. So yeah, even locally, but no, definitely the UH football and post game press conferences this year and going forward are definitely gonna be spoiled because you're basically sitting in a movie theater. You're basically sitting in a movie theater essentially, and the players and Willie Fritz right front and center, and that's how they do post game press conference. Yeah, Crabtree. We were watching the transformation of Houston athletics as a national relevant big time program in real time. You love to see it. Which Crabtree, you just reminded me of the what I was gonna say. This win is huge for Houston. Obviously, yeah, they start 1-0 in Big 12. They're 3-0 for the first time in 2016. But beating Colorado and obviously Coach Prime and all the attention that comes with Coach Prime.
T.O. on the sideline.
T.O. was helping the receivers before the game. That I saw that video come out. I've seen ESPN, and we're not talking about like ESPN, college football or these many guys. Like these are the main ESPN accounts, Sports Center, posting about not only the University of Houston beating Colorado, but still undefeated, 3-0, and that stuff matters. That's exposing. That's exposing the University of Houston to a wider audience, and here's where it all connects. Right? Yeah, if you're a junior in high school, a senior in high school, you're a sophomore in high school, whatever, and like, hey, I remember that Houston school. They're the same school that played in the national championship in April. Well, look at this. Their football team beat Coach Prime's team. Hey, maybe I should look into this University of Houston school, and maybe they're building some steam and they're building something special down in Houston. It all matters. It all connects, and it's good to see. Again, a lot of eyeballs on a Friday night. Obviously, that's one of the positives, and for Houston to perform as well as it did, hopefully they start to, again, to kind of the phrase of the day for this show, continue to build momentum and carry on and honestly, hopefully skyrocket from here. Just this, hopefully this is a launching point, and not just a moment in time.
Agreed. Hopefully it's it's a start and not a finish, not an end. And Colorado, they have more talent, better talent, Hall of Fame talent on their coaching staff than in the players. So they got to get more guys, more players who are close to as talented as their coaches because they don't have enough of those clearly. But one good thing about Coach Prime at Colorado, Coach Prime being in the Big 12, like him, hate him, respect him. He's bringing eyeballs to the Big 12. He's bringing eyeballs and attention to the team that is playing Colorado that weekend.
Mm-hmm.
Tonight it was the Houston Cougars. So the Houston Cougars going to be on ESPN, going to get some national attention tomorrow. Some folks are going to say, yeah, Colorado's not very good this year. Whatever. You see what Houston did to them last night? Well, maybe Houston's really good and Colorado isn't. We'll find out as this season continues. But the attention, this could be the start. This should be the start of more players, recruits, high schoolers, college players who enter the portal. Yeah, I think I'm going to go to Houston. I saw that clip about the locker room. I like that. That's nice. I like Coach Fritz and what he's doing. Parents, old school moms and dads. Coach Fritz holds players accountable. He builds a culture. I want my son to go there and play for Coach Fritz. All of that adds up. This could be the start. I think this is the start of a successful run for Houston Cougar football. I'm looking forward to being a part of it. And I think everyone who's watching tonight's Let's Rage Cougs, you're seeing Andy learning and showcasing the different tools we have in our new toolbox. Tonight's show is on 5 different platforms. We can go up to, I think, 9 different platforms for Let's Rage Cougs, 9 different destinations on social media. So Let's Rage Cougs is growing as well. So be a part of that. If you want to be a part of that, Andy can help you out on how to, get in touch with Andy and how to be part of Let's Rage Cougs, because we still have the goal. We will be. Andy will be in Kansas City for the Big 12 men's basketball tournament. And I might be there for a couple of days as well, because my birthday is on that championship Saturday, March 14th. So Let's Rage Cougs, the plan, we are going to be in Kansas City for the Big 12 tournament.
Perfect segue, but to build on, Kris, we've had 3, obviously, Houston's played 3 games. We've had 3 preview shows. 2 out of those 3 preview shows just on YouTube alone, 1,000+ views. So like you said, building as Houston builds, we also build. And the phrase that you've quite frankly kind of unofficially trademarked, right? Cougs helping Cougs.
Mm-hmm.
If you are interested in being a sponsor on the show, a future sponsor on the show, email contact letsragecougs@gmail.com, all lowercase, letsragecougs@gmail.com. Once again, the final score from TDECU Stadium: Houston comes out victorious in their Big 12 opener, 36-20 over Colorado. They improved to 3-0 on the year, the first time that Houston is 3-0 since 2016. And now they get a well-deserved bye week, and they'll be back on September 26th when they take on Oregon State on the road. And we will be there after. We won't be in Oregon, but we will be here for some Let's Rage Cougs After Dark for that one, because that's going to be a 9 p.m. kickoff?
I think so, yeah.
Kickoff. Mm-hmm. So we'll hopefully, by this point we have some good news, and we're preparing for a Cougs victory. But we will have Let's Rage Cougs After Dark 2 weeks from today, September 26th. So join us. Yes, sir. Yeah, Crabtree. Whose house? Cougs' house. And with that being said, Kris, I'll toss it over to you. Any final thoughts and anything you'd like to plug?
Oh, yeah. I wanted to touch on, I think it was C837 who asked about Austin Carlisle. I think most likely the plan is for him to redshirt this year. And I barring injuries to other people, I think that's the plan for him going forward for this year. And it's just it could be example of having talented players in the program who don't have to play their first year. That's another example of establishing a firm foundation when you have talent waiting in the wings, so that's a plus. But thank you to everybody for watching tonight's Let's Rage Cougs. Again, the only downside of the Cougs playing on Friday night was Bryce Beall. His team, high school team, was playing tonight. So Bryce could not join us to discuss the Cougs' 36-20 win over Colorado. But I think that should not be a problem in 2 weeks because of such a late start in Corvallis. That hopefully all four of us will be able to participate in that Let's Rage Cougs show. So thank you to everyone who helped make this viewing number a solid one on Facebook, on YouTube, on Twitter. Cougs helping Cougs. Once a Coug, always a Coug. Onward and upward. It's my pleasure always to do these shows with Andy and Dayon and Bryce. And when Hoop starts, Fluff. I'm a proud UH graduate. Proud of you. See this in an alumni shirt I'm wearing right now. And Houston Round Ball Review since 1994. Local name, global perspective.
Last thing before we close out, but man, Kansas State is having a tough year. They just lost to Arizona, 23-17. So Kansas State, they've fallen off a cliff compared to the expectations they had early in the season. But that's going to do it for this edition of Let's Rage Cougs. Once again, the final score 36-20. Houston comes out up top over Colorado. Connor Wegman, 222 passing yards, 2 rushing touchdowns. Dean Connors leads the way rushing 89 yards. Stephon Johnson leads the way receiving yards 117. Houston will be off a bye week next week. We'll be back 2 weeks, September 26th, to talk everything about Houston and Oregon State. Until then, as always, Kris,
go Cougs.